All right. Mic check? Can you hear me all right?
I think I'm good. I'm
All
good.
right. Yeah, sounds great. Okay, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Dom and Gonz Sports Talk, the show where we not only talk about everything Baltimore Ravens, but around the NFL. And today, there's more summer workouts to talk about. We're already midway through June, and there's a lot to be discussed regarding our beloved Baltimore Ravens. I'm Gonz, that's Dom, and we're ready to bring you some more content. But before we get started, um, how you doing, Dom? How's it going on this nice Monday morning or Monday afternoon? It's not really
I'll
Monday
still
afternoon.
consider it. I'll still consider it morning because I got up early this morning and I went back to sleep because I was like, yeah, it's too much. But I'm good, man. Good to be back. Good to be able to talk some Ravens football. I am. The season is so close; you can pretty much almost taste it at this point. We're midway through June. July will be here, and preseason will be here before we know it. So I'm here. I'm excited. But it's just great to be back.
Most definitely, yeah. I just can't believe it how we're already done with the voluntary workouts, and now we're about to move on to the mandatory practices starting tomorrow, actually. So it's the season is rolling on. It's rolling closer. We're rolling closer and closer to it, like a boulder rolling down a hill, and there's nothing stopping it. So we love to see it closer and closer to watching NFL football. But anyway, there's a lot of stuff that we should talk about. I mean, as I said, mandatory camp starts tomorrow, but voluntary workouts actually started back at the end of May. I believe it was May 28th was the first Ravens practice. They had a bunch of guys there. Lots of things happened. Some players got extended. Some players got released too on other teams. Jaire Alexander. He was linked to Baltimore for a couple different reasons, and with a couple trade ideas that we could talk about. I would love it, by the way. So that's going to be the rundown. We'll talk about how the OTAs have panned out for the team and who stood out and potential free agent signings the Ravens could cover, and then we'll give a little preview on what we're looking for in mandatory OTAs or mandatory minicamp. Sorry, which starts tomorrow. So that's our rundown. We got three things to talk about. So let's go ahead and jump all the way back to May 28th. Okay, first Ravens practice. I mean, it's almost flawless attendance. And a lot of Ravens fans were getting excited and being like, "Oh, this year's different because we got a lot of people out here at the beginning of the year and blah 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 blah." I don't care. Let's. I've been thinking about what I was going to say about this for so many weeks, so I'm glad I get to say it. I don't care. It's about how you perform in January. So all this crap about I mean, it's great. That's good. You want your team there, but at the end of the day, we know what we need to do, and winning the Super Bowl is not going to determine on whether everybody shows up to day one of mandatory or voluntary camp. Okay, so I was a little bit frustrated going on YouTube and listening to a bunch of Ravens podcasts and thinking and hearing the this year's different type of thing. I mean, take it what you want. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't care that much because you know what they need to do. They know what they need to do. But it is good to see that the one good thing I will say about that, the good attendance at the beginning, is you can see what's on the back of their mind. The Bills game is still on the back of their mind. They know they should have won that game. They know the Bills had no business beating them. I don't know how they found a way to lose it. Um, but so that is good to see that it is on the player's mind, especially Isaiah Likely on his press conference from that first week. He specifically talked about that game. So yeah, it was something. It was a buzz in the building. So that I do like that. But at the end of the day, good attendance. That's not going to get you over the hump. How you play in January and the regular season is how you get over the hump, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I don't disagree with you. I didn't really listen to a lot of the chatter when it came to where what happened to the attendance after the first day or, the attendance on the first day. It was great to see. I
Yeah,
mean, you love seeing the guys get back out there, to continue to try to build on the chemistry, get in rhythm, especially adding D Hop into the mix is great to see, everybody there, especially I'm pertaining to specifically the receiving core. But I wasn't really like too worried or too about the training camp attendance, because I know 9 times out of 10 when it comes to mandatory camp, those guys will be locked, loaded, and ready to go to run it for the mandatory. So I wasn't really too worried about it. Like I said, it was great to see though. Like I love seeing those guys build on the chemistry early. Like I said, I mean the roster offensively is pretty much the same as it was last year with the addition of D Hop. So I don't think it was too much to worry about. Like D Hop is a vet, sure-handed guy. Like this isn't his first rodeo. You know what I mean? Obviously, you want to build chemistry between him and Lamar, but I mean, like I said, D Hop has worked with Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, non-Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, and he's been successful no matter where he's been. So I was completely fine with it. I think going into mandatory, when we see those guys clicking and back on all cylinders, I think those talks will continue to just be in the back of our minds. But as far as how it was in the beginning of camp, I wasn't really too stressed about it either.
Yeah, and I that could have been just clickbait for views too for a lot for some
You know what? That's what it is these days.
But yeah, it was good to see D Hop. D Hop was one of the players I wanted to talk about who stood out, and especially in the first week of camp, making plays, making good catches, and that's what you want from him. I mean, he doesn't have to be the wide receiver #1 for this team. He just needs to be a complimentary slot guy, maybe, or anywhere outside, whatever. The dude who can make those tough catches. Goal line. He can make those tough fade, one-on-one contested type of things that we need, because we don't have a super tall guy. I mean, Zay Flowers is on the smaller side. Bateman is in the middle, and Hopkins can, with that big body and frame, can provide that for us. I was watching him work out a couple times. They showed a couple videos of him doing his own workouts. Dude's massive. He's very big. He's one of those taller guys. Not super huge, like bulky, but one of those tall dudes who have gigantic feet. So maybe you can trample over somebody on the run game. I'm joking. But he can maybe that having giant feet can also give you long strides, which is probably why he got one of those faster running times in the beginning of the camp too. As we could see, what was it, faster than Zay Flowers, who was probably jogging on one of the drills. I don't know. But that's good to see though. 32 years old, or 31. I don't know. He's in his 30s. And he can run quick. So that's
I just
good.
like they tried to call him Wash just because he came to us. Like I just it's
I
just don't get that, because apparently he wasn't washed last year when he was with the freaking Chiefs, but as soon as he comes to us, he's washed. Like I don't get it. I hope he shuts the haters up this year, as he usually does.
I think he's trying to. Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. Like last year he was competing on a Super Bowl contending roster. He was in the Super Bowl for the first time in his career, which was a great deal part. Like he was a big part of that Kansas City Chiefs team that made it to there last year, even though they got absolutely clapped in the Super Bowl. But he comes over here, he's just instantly washed. Like I don't get it. Yeah, it's just the haters hating. I'm just gonna let it rock. But he's, like I said, when push comes to shove, when it comes to the clutch, I think D Hop will be there.
Good. Yeah. So he was one of the guys that stood out. The defense started to take over a little bit early on in the voluntary OTAs too, because Lamar was present for like the first day or so, and then I think after that it was backups for the most part, so the defense was able to show out a little bit after that. Not to say that's an issue. I mean, again, like I said earlier, it's about how you play in January, and Lamar won 2 MVPs without being in every single practice. So I don't give a crap about that. So some people used to. Some people were like, well, why is he not here? It doesn't matter, okay? He knows what he's doing. He's same offense. It's going to be year 3 of Todd Monken. I'm not worried about it. By the way, Lamar's been working out with wide receivers outside of Ravens facilities too. So Bateman, Zay Flowers have been working out with their quarterback outside of things. So I'm not worried about it. Not to say anyone was, but just in case, you got those people that are like, oh, you got to be at every camp if you want to do it. But whatever. Who else? What was I going to talk about? Yeah, so the defense was taking some reps, and more specifically, Malachi Starks, as Dom was talking about before the show. he's coming to his own. Okay, yeah, he had some issues at first, and he even said it in his press conferences. It's a little bit of adjustment to the field because as you guys know, the college field and the NFL field is much different. The hash marks are different distances apart. So you got to cover more ground in the NFL than you do on the college field because it's a little bit shorter between the hashes. So now that he's getting that under his belt, he can really unleash. So that was good. Get those adjustments out now during practice and in the summertime, so then you're ready to go full on in September. So that's good. I mean, I'm excited about him. I mean, he seems like he could be a potential leader on this team by the next year or two. Okay, he could be one of those. Like, look how Kyle Hamilton sprouted into a leader. Like he was, kind of quiet his first year. As a rookie should be. I mean, it's kind of tough coming in. I mean, you got some of those rookies that come in and they're just instant leaders, but it's tough. It's like going to a new school, as a new student. But then you grow accustomed quickly. So I'm thinking this guy's going to be one of those guys. Just hearing him talk, he's going to be one of those leaders, and I can't wait to see how he matures. But yeah, what have you seen from Malachi Starks more specifically on the
Yeah,
field?
Malachi, he's just different. Like he's like the fact that he fell to 27 is just man. But I just hear about people speak on his ability, how quickly he was able to adjust. The time he's put in off the field studying, just to get a feel for things. Because, like you said, he wasn't really comfortable at first, but then, as you can see, he quickly, began to pick things up. Began to he was even calling the defense. Sometimes he was caught off guard, breaking down stuff like that. It's just how quickly he's been able to adjust. That just goes to show you how determined this kid is just to, learn, and how he's not afraid to, put himself out there whenever, it's needed. Like his versatility on the field, I think, is just going to be so huge for this Ravens team. I mean, especially with our Darius going down as early as he did, which was super unfortunate, by the way. Our Darius went
Yeah,
through
that's something we didn't talk about. Yeah.
speedy recovery. I believe he tore his Achilles, I believe, or something like that. Achilles
I
injury.
can't remember. It was one of the ending
Yeah.
leg
One,
injuries.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he was having off-season workouts, and he, had a really bad injury. They're aiming for his comeback to be around November, December. We'll see how it goes, but just take your time. Ardarius, your health is first. But yeah, with Ardarius going down as quickly as he did, it's kind of putting Malachi in another position where it's like, dude, I got to learn maybe even quicker than initially before, because I might have to fill in a void that we're now missing with our Darius going down. Like, will the Ravens pick up a veteran piece? I don't know. I also heard reports that Jalen Armour Davis has been tried at safety a couple of times during workouts. So who knows how that's going to work at the end of the day. But getting to Malachi, I think he's going to be a really solid addition to this team. His work ethic, I mean, it's just – I think he's going to make some noise. I think he's going to make some noise this year, especially because our schedule starts off so rough this year. He's going to be a difference maker. So I love his veteran-like presence on the field already, and I hope he continues to build on that as we get closer and closer to preseason.
Yeah, this defense is going to have a hot start because they can't afford to do what they did last year and start as the 31st ranked defense in the league.
Absolutely.
So we'll see if this team can jump out to a better start on defense, especially for the first couple games of the season. But yeah, I would love to see it. I mean, potential rookie of the year on defense. I don't know. Maybe could he do it?
I wouldn't be mad
I
at
don't
it.
know.
Shoot.
I don't know. Let me pump the brakes a little bit. We haven't even seen any football yet. But yeah, it's exciting. I mean, and I'll tell you what, Ravens media does the best job of hyping up people. They really do. So let's see if it's actually true this time. And it is true at times. I mean, like Zay Flowers, for example, worth all the hype. I mean, Mark
Yeah,
Andrews, all the hype.
Hamilton, Andrews,
Likely, I remember when they were just
Likely.
absolutely pumping up Likely in training camp, and I'm like, this dude is all that. This dude's all that. Then we get to preseason, he is all that. Okay, let's get to the regular season. Yeah, this dude's it.
Yeah.
So
Even
yeah,
Bateman came into his own. Like, he
so they're
overcame some
reliable. They're
injuries and came into his
semi-reliable.
own, So,
Yeah,
I mean, these guys, they've been
yeah.
solid. They've been very, very – even actually, I'm going to take it up a notch. They've been better than solid. I would
Okay.
say their production has been way better than solid since they've been drafted. So
Yeah. So good job, media. You hit the home run on those.
so okay. They might have some strikeouts. There's been some strikeouts,
Oh, there's been some
but
strikeouts,
there's been some
definitely. Yeah,
strikeouts, but there's been a couple of home runs. There's
there's been
been
a
a
few.
couple of home runs. So I think this also goes back to how, like I spoke on Bateman earlier, right? It goes back to how these guys are developing, because we saw Bateman, we were like, oh man, he needs more opportunities. Oh man, him and Lamar got to build that connection because what's going on. And then you see last year, like he overcame no injuries last year, overcame that bug, goes for pretty much freaking near double-digit touchdowns, and has a spectacular season, and
Well,
just signed an extension.
he needed that. He
Yeah,
really
and
did,
just signed an
because
extension. So,
he was on his
like,
way out. I think. Until last year, I think he was on his way out. I really was. And the Ravens almost got rid of him. Did you know that? They almost
I did
traded
hear
him
that
away.
rumor. Yeah, I did hear
Yeah,
that rumor. So, I mean,
close.
that just goes to show you, like,
They almost did.
you just sometimes it just takes sometimes it just takes a little bit of time, mind you, because of the oh shoot, sorry guys, mind you, it's because mind you, of course, it might not always be, because we're kind of like, because of Lamar, we're kind of pushed into this, dude, we got to win right now. Now, mind you, I agree with that sentiment, but at the same time, it's like these guys are put with so much pressure early because they're playing with a Hall of Fame caliber talent at quarterback. So it's kind of, the pressure is on to be like, oh yeah, you got to be ready off rip. You know what I mean? Because if not, you're going to be looking like, oh, why did we draft you? But they took their time with Bateman, and now look at his confidence now. Look at what, like, I don't think he ever lost it, but look at his confidence now. Like, he's just, I'm pretty sure it skyrocketed from last year, and the extension that he just signed a couple of weeks ago probably adds on to that. But it's just good to see. So,
No, he became
like,
pretty reliable last year. Yeah, he
he
did.
did. He was very reliable last year. So it even hurt when he went down in that playoff game, like against the Bills, when we were, well, Lamar scored anyway
They
because
went
it's
down
Lamar.
and scored. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's Lamar, so that's not crazy. But it also hurt because we didn't have him, we didn't have Zay, like they were both hurt, so it wasn't. He's become a good target for Lamar, another reliable guy. And then Lamar's really good at just instilling that confidence in his guys. So he's easy to play with. So, I mean, as far as, I'm hoping that this same hype that these past couple of first round, second round picks that we've given these past couple of years also extends to this recent draft class. I think this draft class is fun. Like, there's a lot of guys that we picked up that I actually like as far as, the talent we've gotten. So I think it also translates to this year. We'll have to see, of course, only time will tell. But I think the Ravens did a good job.
We'll see. We will see.
Yeah.
But yeah, good shout out to the defense. I think we kind of just covered Bateman. That was going to be something we were going to
Oh
talk
yeah,
about.
yeah. That kind of came out of
So
nowhere,
that's
but
good. I mean, I guess Dom thinks the extension was justified, pretty much. So
I
yeah,
mean,
that's
yeah.
good.
Like
No, I'm not saying it wasn't either. I definitely. I think you should. I'm glad they got him back. I think he deserved another shot here because of what he did last year. I mean, he was making some great catches in that playoff game, and that's the
dude,
big.
you remember the catch he had in that Chargers game? I
Oh
think
yeah,
it was like the
for a
corner
touchdown.
pocket of the end zone, and like that. Like he's made some
Yeah, he's
great
been
plays.
good. Yeah.
He's been good, and like that just goes to show you, when you give him a fully healthy season
Yeah.
and some targets, like he can do some damage.
So we need to keep him healthy. We need to
Yeah,
keep
I
all our guys
agree.
healthy.
I
Yeah.
agree. I think keep him healthy. I think he could be a stud,
Yeah.
wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially for this team, I think Monken uses them very well. At least he did last year. I don't know
Dude,
about the other years.
Monken has been such a blessing for this offense, man. He's been such a blessing
I'm
for this
glad we got him
offense.
again. We can run it
Yeah,
back.
dude. Like, I'm so mad we didn't get him earlier. Like, imagine if we had him
Yeah.
earlier. Like,
Well, we had Greg G-Row. I mean,
man. Shout out to Giro though. He gave us, our run game was crazy when we had
I
Giro.
know
Not saying our
he
run game isn't
started. He
crazy right now.
kick-started this legacy of good
He did.
offenses with Lamar.
Like,
So
I know people
yeah.
didn't. I know people didn't give him, like, because of how the offense was, and Lamar's throwing back then. But like, you have to give him credit for what he established, at
Yeah.
least with this team. and what Monken has been able to do since he's picked it up.
He
So
established that high scoring, threshold. It's like, okay, 2019 they were scoring 30, 40 points a game. Now we got to
yeah,
do
then
that every
they
game.
dropped like during that era too.
Mhm.
Didn't they drop like 50 on the Dolphins or something like that? I think it was during that 2019 season, that
50,
MVP season.
yeah, 56, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So we were still scoring, mind you. The only thing I didn't really like about Jaire was the fact that I feel as though he didn't. When it came to the throwing game, it wasn't as I'm looking for the right word. It wasn't as poignant as I guess it's not. It wasn't as
Well,
established as it is now. Like, you know what I
well,
mean? Like,
the thing is, Giro just was not willing to make adjustments. That's why we couldn't get. That's why we got rid of him. Like he put that offense out on the scene in 2019. It was great. They were passing. They were running mainly, and then they were mixing in some passes, and it was working great because teams weren't ready for it. But once teams got some years under their belt, looking at some videos and some clips, then it wasn't as effective, and Giro just wasn't able to take the next step with his adjustments, and that was why I thought he was needed to go. I mean, it wasn't working, and he just kept doing it, and that was his problem. Monken, on the other hand, I think he makes pretty good adjustments. I know a lot of people are like, run Derrick Henry, blah, blah, blah. I am not on that bandwagon of run the ball 20, like 50 times. You got to have balance. I'm a balance guy. I know like a lot of these Ravens fans are just spam it with Henry, and that's fine. But I think you need balance so then you can keep the defense on his toes. I didn't have an issue like the Bills game. Everyone was mad because they didn't run Henry enough. I mean, I guess you could say that in the first half. But look, they played. Monken called a good game. He called a game good enough to win. I mean, if they don't turn the ball over, they win the game. So all that, I thought they had a good balanced attack, especially in the second half of the Bills game. But anyway, yeah, we're getting off on tangents here. I'm
wait,
getting off.
great.
But
I hear what you're saying, and I do agree with a lot of your points, especially with the balance part, because we do need that. I want to say one point real quick. I know we got to move on to the next topic, but I will say though, one thing I would like to see this year specifically. I would like to see Derek get more touches on the goal line. I feel as for us anyway. Like, dude, we got a freaking tank back there. You got to at least try him twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If you
I agree.
try him twice at least, like the trick plays, I like them. Don't get me wrong, but our success rate with them aren't as great as other teams. We just
What do you
have to
mean
be
trick
honest.
play? Like play action
Like,
pass?
no, not the play action pass. I mean, like, I don't know what. I think there was a play we had last year. We tried something. I forgot what we were doing, but
On the goal line?
Yeah, it was on a goal line play. I gotta look it up. When I look it up, I'll find it and I'll mention it. But what I'm saying is just that I think when it comes to that goal line, if we're on the 1, the 2, the whatever, you gotta give Henry. You gotta give Henry the ball at least twice, at least 2 times. And if we don't get it with him twice, then okay, let's see what we can do with our arm. But at the end of the day, bro, if you got Derrick freaking Henry behind you, dang it, you have to at least.
Are you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, you froze for a second.
Yeah, I don't. It was some type of setting on Instagram. I don't know what happened, but yeah, you got to at least give it to Derrick 2 times, in my opinion.
Right.
Give it to him 2 times, and if he doesn't work, then you could try with your arm. Lamar, run it in, do what you got to do. I don't know, but I would like to see Derrick Henry get more goal line opportunities this year. Cause I feel as though he didn't really get as many last year, and obviously, if you're on the goal line, you're looking, okay, everybody get ready. Derrick Henry's getting the ball, but they still have to stop it. Right, so at the end of the day, I'm giving it to him. I'm sorry, in that position,
Okay.
I'm giving it to him.
I'm fine with that. Like on the Bills game, they gave it to him one time, and then they called other plays and didn't score, and they had to settle for 3. So yeah. Okay, that's fair. I get it. Yeah. All right.
Well, I do agree with
agree.
you though. I do agree with you though. There needs to be balance. So I understand not giving the ball to Henry 50+ times, but
that is not the reason why we lost the game. For all
no, that's not the reason at all. That's not the reason at all.
You got a lot of blind fans out there that are like, "Oh, if they would have ran with Henry in the first half, we would have won the game." Well, maybe you could eliminate the turnovers, but that's not what
Yeah,
it.
I'm about to say we made
Yeah, but
mistakes. Those mistakes also cost us. I mean, there was a lot of drop
yeah,
passes. What? Not a lot of drop passes, but there were
fumbles,
dropped opportunities,
fumbles
the
by
fumbles.
number 89.
Yeah, there was missed
Sorry to bring it
opportunities.
up.
We lost that game. We beat ourselves and we lost that game. You just have to admit that, and that's the only way you can move on. Is if you realize that we lost that game ourselves, and we just have to come back next year strong. Well, I'm sorry, not next year, this year, because we're already in the new season. But we got to come back this year stronger, because yeah,
Yeah, no more of those this year.
please
Speaking
no
of
more of
another
those this
person that
year.
got torched in that Bills game, number 21, Mr. Brandon Stevens, who's no longer on the team. We've been doing a nice job filling that corner position. I think we've got a lot of people who are ready to step up to the plate. We've got Awuzie in the folds. We've got TJ Tampa in the fold. And then someone else who I would love to try to bring into the fold would be getting Jaire Alexander, who was released by Green Bay a couple weeks ago. And, I understand the injury concerns. I get it. I know. And a lot of people are like, we don't want anything to do with him because he's always hurt. I get it. I understand. But when he's not hurt, he's one of the best corners in the game. And if you could get him on a cheap deal, like a 1 year, something like, I know he's looking for something more expensive because Green Bay tried to do that. But I don't know. Maybe he's got some sort of affection for Lamar or something, like a appreciation to play with him. Maybe could we get him for 1 year and just see what he does? I would love it. I absolutely would love it. And I that's why I'm not saying sign him to a long year because of the injury concerns. I'm not saying that. I'm saying to bring him in 1 year, go all out this year because this is it. I thought last year was it, but it looks like they're gearing up for this to be the last ride. Um, Bring him in. Make the secondary even better. I mean, that would put Nate Wiggins, Marlowe, and Jaire Alexander out there, along with all those rookies in the fold, and Awuzie in the back, somewhere in the back somewhere, needing to come on the field if need be. Do it. Go do it. I think you should do it. This would make the defense really scary. It really would. I mean, because you got Roquan in the middle, you got Matabike on the line of scrimmage, you got Mike Green, round two, round one pick, but it's stolen in round two. Like Kyle Van Noy, Owe, bulked up Owe. You've got so many pieces. Kyle Hamilton, I forgot about him. Adding Jaire to that would make this defense so scary. It really would. And I think you should do it. I think you should go for him. Go get him.
I,
Go do it. This is your freaking year, right? I mean, that's what you're saying. That's what your EDC make it happen. Do it.
I'm not gonna lie. Usually, I really can't disagree because I mean,
Just a
also
cheap
ever
1 year deal. So where if it doesn't work out, nothing's hurt.
yeah, it's hard to like argue wanting Jaire. I mean, like you said, when healthy, his last healthy season, he was a top 5 corner in the league. So it's kind of hard to just say like, oh yeah, let's just brush that to the side because it's. I would love it. I mean, Marlowe, Jaire with Wiggins and whoever we insert into that 4 spot, whether it be Awuzie or one of these young dudes. Um, I mean, why not? Right? I'm cool with the 1 year. Honestly, I don't think Jaire really wants that. I'm hearing that's the thing about the NFL rumor mill is just that you hear one thing and then you hear another, and it's just like all these. It's coming from all these mouths. That's not from the horse's mouth itself, right? Like I'm on one end, I'm thinking like, oh, Jaire wanted a little more money. On the other end, Jaire was like, I didn't mind taking a pay cut. I just don't want to get disrespected. Right. So, and I'm talking about when it came to the deal with the Packers, taking like a restructured deal to like give them some cap relief. Um, I would love to have Jaire on this team. I think if Jaire is on this team, that secondary becomes even like it becomes scary. If we have Jaire, I mean, especially depending on how we play Kyle, because if we have Kyle, say if we had Kyle and Malachi up top, with Roquan and maybe I don't know if we put Trent back in. I don't know if Teddy earns that spot. Who knows? We'll see when it comes to the end of camp. Like I like our odds with Jaire on the field. Like it
Get it
would
done.
help. I would love a 1A, 1B corner duo in Marlowe and Jaire. Please don't get me wrong. Like, I think, and plus, I know, like you said, a lot of people have the injury concerns. It takes one good, healthy season to change all of that around. You know what I mean? So, Who knows? I would love it if EDC makes it happen. I mean, you got to rub his head and be like, "Thank you, EDC." But we just have to see. I mean, there's still no news about it yet. He's been released for what, over a week now? It's been about a
Yeah.
week and a half, maybe.
Hmm.
So, I mean, he's still vetting teams. I know last report said there were about 6 teams interested in him. I don't know if we were one of them because those team names did not come out yet. But man,
He'll get signed. Most
he
definitely, he's
will
going to
he
get
will
signed.
he will be on a roster
And
before
please,
preseason. I can
Ravens,
tell you
please
that
do it.
much.
Please do
But
it.
I
I
mean,
really want us to do it. I just don't think we are.
because
I don't think we are.
He and Jalen Ramsey are the two big cornerback dominoes on the board right now.
But
So
he's not going to get traded. I thought Miami wasn't interested in moving him. I thought
no,
that
I
was
mean,
on the news.
I think he's still on the table if I'm not mistaken. I think he's still on the
I
table
thought I
because
heard
they
that
were.
Miami was done or not moving him. But maybe okay. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Might be
I don't
right.
know. Maybe you may be right. I'm not
Okay.
sure, but I know the thing about Jaire is though he is technically a free agent. If you go try to get Jalen, you got to give up assets. So Jaire would be the more
Well,
suitable,
this would reset the
option.
money, like the market for him too. Like whatever Jaire's going to get, Ramsey's going to have to get something similar or more. So I don't know. This is going to be weird. It's going to be weird.
It's gonna be
Um,
very weird.
I
But
just hope that
I hope the Ravens do it though. I would love
I
for
don't
them
think we
to
are.
do it. I
I
know
don't
we're
think we
probably
are.
not. We're
Mhm.
probably not. We're probably gonna stick with what we got. But if you
Do
really
it.
want to, you at some point you got to stop worrying about the future and you have to start looking at the now.
Yeah.
And right now, you have a top 5. Forget that. You have a top 3 quarterback in the league in Lamar Jackson. Okay, you have to go and get what you need to help win now. And right now, if you get Jaire, that is a piece that you can add to that defense to make it a daggone near no-fly zone in Baltimore if you want to. Especially with the additions to the coaching staff that can help bolster bolster the young minds we have on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got Pagano, you still got Pease. You know what I mean? Like you can if you add Jaire, who knows? Like I feel like you can really add an element to this defense that we've needed for a little bit now. I mean, we had a top 5, we had a top 1 defense 2 years ago. Who says we can't get back to that if we add, this piece to help make it all fit? That's just me. But
They got to do
I
it. I do think.
I think they should do it. I think they should just say, "F it. Here's a contract. Sign it." It's just just do it. I don't see why not. You want to win a Super Bowl. If you want the parade to be back downtown in Baltimore, do the moves you need to do to get it done. That's all I'm saying. You see what the Eagles did. They stacked the odds against pretty much everybody and said, "We're going to bolster this roster and we're going to do everything we can to make Jalen's life comfortable." And I don't know about you. I know we both watched the Super Bowl. Jalen looked pretty comfortable at the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna lie. He looked pretty comfortable. So do what you gotta do and try to make Lamar's life comfortable. He needs it would be nice to have a defense that will allow him to make mistakes. I'm not saying that he wants to make mistakes. Please don't take that and say, "Oh yeah, Lamar's allowed to make mistakes." No, I'm not
Be
saying that.
careful with that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying Lamar should be allowed to make mistakes, but I'm saying he's not going to be perfect every game. We just have to install that into our brains. As much as he wants to be, he's not going to be perfect every game. There should be some points where he's allowed to take the cape off for a little bit and say, "Lamar, we got you. We're going to get you a stop. We're going to end this game." That's all I'm
That's
saying.
more like it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And at
Close the
that point,
game out. Or
exactly.
yeah, that's
And
it.
exactly. And then also going to closing the game out, forcing more turnovers in January in those playoff games. We have not been forcing turnovers
I know. Mm-hmm.
in playoff games. We just have to come to truth with that. So we need playmakers who are going to go after the ball in those clutch situations. Not saying we don't already have them, but it would be nice to add a piece that could add to that. That's all I'm saying.
Just get it done. Do it. Do whatever you got to do. And part of that might be getting some money first. And there've been talks about a Lamar contract extension to avoid that cap hit for next year. So if you can get that done, and Jaire's still like a free agent in August, you could definitely, then the likelihood of us getting it would be a lot higher. But I just don't know if we're going to get that done in time to free up enough money. So we'll see. I don't know what our situation is right now, but I know
Yeah,
that we're going to.
I believe we're around 19 to 20 million dollars in cap, and
Oh, that's pretty good, actually.
that's coming off of the Marcus Williams release, the Justin Tucker
Okay,
release, and the Michael Pierce retirement, if I'm
that's
not
actually pretty
mistaken.
good. All right, that's not as. I thought it was less than that. So I guess this Lamar talk is freeing up for next year's cap space.
Because
Okay.
we still have to sign Hamilton and we still have to sign Linderbaum. So
Yeah,
also keep those
which
things in
is what
mind.
we're gonna have to do next year. So yeah, and they have to get both of those guys signed.
Yeah,
Um,
they should already have the contract
all right.
ready. Like they should
Anyway,
be signed
yeah, but
immediately.
do it now. If you got 20 million cap space, do it now. Get Jaire and then worry about all the other stuff later. Okay. Focus on this season. I mean, I know you got things to do next offseason, business decisions to make, but you gotta let's talk about 2025. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's win. But anyway, all right. So yeah, where were we? We've gone a lot. I think we
Oh
talked
no.
about
Because we've been gone for so long, there's so much to discuss, it's
yeah.
easy to get off track. So
Okay, so we talked about free agency. We talked about Jaire. That was something I wanted to discover or talk about for a little bit, and that was good. So now we're on to the last couple weeks of OTAs. The attendance went down a little bit, unsurprisingly, and that's fine. Like I said, we already talked about that. Some of the people that we should discuss, though, who have been having some pretty good practices, is Tez Walker, who's been stepping up, apparently. On defense, I mentioned him earlier, TJ Tampa. Harbaugh even talked about him directly for a little bit, saying that he could be one of the top players on this defense or maybe in the game. So I don't know. I don't know what he specifically said, but I know he talked him up a little bit. So young guys in the folds, like that's great. I mean, we need that depth so we can mix them in because you need, starters need some breaks. So those are exciting things to hear about. What else? Mike Green's doing okay. I heard he had an interception or something.
yeah, I heard he's been really
Yeah,
explosive off the line of scrimmage.
yeah,
I'm hearing like he's been quick with his hands. Like
yeah.
that's what we needed to.
And if he's making interceptions off the line, that's what Suggs did, guys. You heard him draw comparisons from Suggs, not as a player, but as the caliber of the dynamic of player he could be, like a franchise edge rusher. We haven't had a franchise edge rusher since Terrell Suggs. I'm not making any direct comparisons, but the last edge rusher I saw for us to get picks like that is Terrell Suggs. Seriously. By no means am I saying he's going to be a Suggs, but it's just a fact. I haven't seen anybody get a pick since Suggs did in the Pittsburgh game in the playoffs. So yeah, good stuff, great stuff. So yeah, it'd be and going back to Tez Walker. So I've just named a couple guys. Let's go back and talk about them. Tez Walker, not a lot of opportunities last year. He was a healthy scratch for most of the time. He had that one catch for a touchdown against the Giants, and that's it. But if he can get more confidence and get more chances, similar to Bateman, maybe he could be some sort of a little bit of a piece in this offense, coming in as a slot guy. I mean, he's got the speed, he's got the size, he's got the hands, he can do it. He was a speedster and was he not a super speedster, but he's got good deep ball skills as we saw him at was he at the Tar Heels, North Carolina?
I believe it was North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's give him some chances. I mean, this is why this preseason is going to be so valuable to talk about to see all these guys that the media is hyping up in action. Because Tez, I didn't see him in the preseason last year either. I really didn't. I really didn't see him. The only wide receiver we saw was what was his name? Wade.
Yeah, I believe Wade. Yeah, Dayton Wade.
And he got that long touchdown on a double move, and that was literally it for the deep pass game. So I'm excited. Let's see. It's good that I'm hearing he's having good practices. He had some touchdowns in practice. He had a lot of catches. So he's making the most of his opportunities while not all the starters are present. So that's good. So let's keep that up. What do you think about Tez?
I think
Who
Tez
we
is
also saw, by the way, in real life.
We did see him in real life. He probably don't know us, but we know you, my sir. No, I think Tez has an opportunity to really make some noise this year, again, as another potential deep ball threat. I love hearing that he's doing great in camp. And I'm glad he didn't let last year kind of like just shake his confidence. I know because, like you said, I know he was a healthy scratch a couple of times last year. So I'm glad he's able to bounce back and have a great camp. I'm hoping he continues to do that. Like, we need that deep ball ability going against some of these teams. Like, to go against the Kansas City, to go against the Buffalo, like those guys who have shown that they can have that deep ball ability. We need to be able to do that ourselves. Now we have Zay, who is pretty much another one of our deep ball guys, our speedster, to get down the field. But it would be nice to have two dual threats of dudes who can just get down there as fast as possible and kind of like just take the top off the defense. So I'm excited to see what he can do. I'm excited to see if he gets more opportunities. I'm hoping we get to see him again this preseason, maybe, to see what he's been doing. Since the season ended last year. He came into last year with talks of being that deep ball threat, something that the Ravens needed to add. To I think he was a fourth round pick last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And he was brought in as kind of that deep ball guy that we were looking to get to add to that offense to build on. So I'm excited to see him and just see what he can do. Going forward into this year. Another person I'm looking forward to see that I've been hearing good things about that I really liked was LaJohntay Wester, coming out of Colorado. I love that pick ever since the Ravens made it. I think he's a really dope dude. He's made a lot of plays for that Colorado team, coming off of catching passes from Shedeur Sanders. Um, he will most likely make his mark on special teams. He's been having a good special teams camp. But I hear a lot of reports, man, he could be a viable receiver target for Lamar, if the possibility presents itself. So, I'm glad we got him on the team. I hope he makes the 53. I'm pretty sure he probably will. But I'm excited to see him too. Like I said, I like that pick from when the Ravens put it in and they announced it. I'm hoping that he could be another great guy for us, another great asset to add to that special teams. I know Keaton said he wants to be really big on return this year, but I want Keaton back into the offensive mix this year.
Oh, yeah,
Not
I forgot to bring him up.
yeah. And I'll say, I know we'll probably make him another topic, but just a segue real quick. I want Keaton. I love Keaton and his ability to return. I love his speed dynamic, but I want him, as much as I like him returning, I also want him to be back into the offensive fold again. We know what he can be when he's healthy. We've seen it. Like he's a bolt of lightning out of that backfield. So I would really like to see him back to getting some touches this year coming out of the backfield. So I want to see him more into the offense rather than special teams. But however he can, have his talent shown, I'm here for it. But back to LaJohntay, I'm excited for him too. So I'm hoping both of those guys, him and dang, I just lost track of who we're talking about. Tez Walker. I hope him and Tez, I hope they both, are able to show off their talents this year. Because I think they can really be a help to the team.
Yeah, I forgot about LaJohntay Wester completely. I mean, this team has a lot of potential young stars. I mean, again, here we go with the media. I'm hyping up people again, so let's see if they hit on home runs on both of these. I haven't seen too much. I haven't heard about too much from LaJohntay Wester, so it's good that you have the coverage on it. I was just hearing a lot about Tez and TJ Tampa for the most part.
It was good to hear about TJ Tampa too, because I know he was battling injuries last year. So it was good to again. This just shows these guys bounce back. They don't let last year sway them at all, and they just come back and just show people
Well,
okay,
I remember he had that surgery last year, and
correct.
that was kind of hindered his progress. So yeah, I think he had some sort of an injury when he came in, right? And then he got the surgery.
I believe so. Yeah, because he was barely even playing
I don't
at
think he
that
played
point in the
off,
year.
did he?
Yeah,
I don't know. But anyway, he's got a whole offseason to rest and recoup. Dom froze.
Sorry, I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry.
He had a whole offseason to rest and recoup, and he's back and ready to play and ready to show what he's got. So that's exciting. I completely forgot about him. He was our third round pick, fourth round. I can't remember last year.
Which one?
Tampa, TJ.
Yes, I believe
Third or
he was a
fourth?
third round pick.
Third round.
I think he was a third round pick.
So they were pretty high on him when he came out on the draft. So let's hey, if he could be a star, like a stud, like somebody that can be a rotational piece, come on in for some plays, give some guys a break, or even more than that, that would be a home run. Even if he was just a rotational piece, like a starter. That would be good. That would be good enough for me.
Listen,
You know,
you can
as his
never have
first
enough
year.
corners. You can never
Yeah,
have
you
enough
can't
good
ever have enough.
corners.
Yep. Um. So yeah, that's good. Shout out to them. Um. We talked about Tez, talked about LeJohntay, talked a little bit about Mike Green. But yeah, dude, this team, we're starting. I guess we're getting down to the home stretch here. Um, they're ready. They're ready to work. They're excited. Their headspace seems good. Harbaugh's been saying some good things. I think they're ready to get back to work. So let's see what. Oh, duh, I forgot. Coming up tomorrow is the mandatory camp. So now we've got all the people coming in. So like I said, now I can go back to what I was saying. They're ready to work. Now we get should be full attendance. Get Jackson back at quarterback and see what we can make some noise on offense in this camp like we were at the beginning. So let's see what they got. This will be a good chance for Jackson now to work with those rookies or young guys, not rookies necessarily. Tez Walker, Wester, getting them involved on the offense. Put them at the ones. Get Lamar throwing the ball to them a little bit. Why not? Let's see what happens.
Shoot, if they want to build with everybody, I'm not gonna be mad at building
I
with
think you should
everybody.
work with the young guys with the ones a little bit. Just not at every practice, but throw them in. See
I
what they do.
think he also. I'm glad you brought that up too, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he did get some time in with them when he came in for that one practice.
Okay,
I'm
good,
not. I could be mistaken, but I think I remember reading something that said he threw a really great pass to Wester.
good,
Actually, now that I remember, so I believe he had been getting time in with all of them. So
good.
I mean, but you're not wrong. Like, I will take, if he wants to get in work with every single last one, by all means, go ham. Build
I mean,
chemistry with
that's
all of
what
them.
when I used to watch training camp. I haven't been to a mini camp practice. I don't know how different it is. I know it's no pads, but I remember when I used to watch the training camps practices at the stadium. Like they would put in the younger guys. Like even when Flacco was quarterback, this was back in those days. They would put in like Michael Campanero at the time, who was a rookie coming out of Wake Forest. They were putting him in for some reps with the ones. So I mean, just slide them in here and there, give them some work.
Throw them in. Why not?
Yeah. Anyway, and look how Campanero was solid. I mean, he wasn't like a number one, number two, number three guy. He was a rotational, come on in, make a play or two, and then go back out. Sort of like a Tylan Wallace-esque kind of player. Except he
I
got a
love
little
that
bit
guy.
more touches. He got some end arounds and some jet touch passes. I remember. So yeah. Anyway, tomorrow, what are we looking for? Just get into start gelling. That's what I that's this is the point now where you've got your full roster. Everybody's going to be having their full rosters for their mandatories. Start gelling as a team. Get the chemistries down, get the signals down, get the miscues out now. This is the point where you can get that stuff out now, as you approach training camp, where the practices ramp up a little bit. So get a head start on that. So we'll see what the Ravens got in store. I know I'll be paying attention to the media, seeing what they got. Can the defense continue its dominance? Well, probably not because Lamar's coming back. So we'll see. I'm excited to check in. I mean, it starts tomorrow, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. It's going to be nice to see everybody back. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys are incorporated into the schemes, how the coaches want things set up, to see how these guys can be to the best of their ability. Not only keep an eye on that, keep an eye on if they could sign anybody else. I mean, like you said, there's guys out there in the market who could potentially add to this team. So not just Jaire. I mean, Justin Simmons is still available. If they want to add another veteran safety up top, that could be the opportunity. Who knows? But
I
with the
think it's
guys
going
that
to
we
depend on the practices, how the young guys do.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we keep our eye on that, see how that goes. But I'm excited to see what we have and excited to see how these young guys and all of our vets kind of mesh together. Going to give us a really big indication of who's going to make that final 53 as we kind of nail down to the as we get closer and closer to preseason.
One thing we did forget to talk about when I was bringing up the young safeties topic, there were a little bit of injuries. Bo Braid went down, and so did
Oh
Weaver.
yeah, I forgot about Bo.
But
Yeah,
Harbaugh, he chimed in pretty quickly the next day and said or right after practice that those injuries were not bad, not serious. So that's really good news because apparently the Bo Braid one looked bad because he had to be helped off the field. But according to Harbaugh, minor injuries. Hopefully they'll be okay and ready to go for training camp. But I wouldn't expect to see those two out there tomorrow. I don't know what it was. Ankle injuries, I think he said. Minor ankle injuries. So maybe
Who was the other player? I know you said Bo, and who else?
Shidobi Awuzie.
Ozier, yes.
Yeah. So hopefully they'll be good to go in July. But anyway, that gives us more reps for TJ Tampa, the one that we've been talking about.
Yeah, reps with those young guys, man. I
Yeah.
also heard rumor that Cheetah Bay could also. Yeah, sorry. Now, I also hear that Cheetah Bay could also be playing. I mean, he has some safety experience, so if that's the case too, we can throw him up top as well, just in case. So,
Yeah,
I mean, it's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see how we can utilize these moving parts. So
he's
we'll see when Cheetah
getting
Bay
a
comes
little
back.
bit older, I believe. He's
I think he's like
back
28,
into the
29. Yeah.
28, 29. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, maybe hey, man, do what you got to do. I mean, he was solid for the Titans, I remember. I mean, so, again, he doesn't have to come in here and be our lockdown Marlon Humphrey style corner. He just, again, rotational piece.
No penalties, please.
He challenging the young guys in practice. I mean, okay, here's this established starter. What are you going to take? What's it going to take for me to beat you out as a young guy? So we'll see. I think it's good. I think the secondary is in a good state right now, depth wise. So yeah, that's something to pay attention to in the next few days too. We'll start breaking down more of the competition, positional battles as we get into July. I don't think that's fair to start right now. July is when you really put the pads on.
That's when the heat's up.
Oh yeah,
figuratively and literally.
Here's year 5 of trying to go to a training camp practice. We'll see if I can get tickets for it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to do it. If any of you guys have any idea on how to be first in line, please let me know, because I feel like people set up bots, and then the bots, as soon as whatever the time hits, 9:00, they automatically buy it, and it's like I never seem to get my hands on any tickets. So. If anybody's winners, let me know. Because I'm a season ticket holder, if you guys don't know, and I get access to training camp tickets early before the public. So, and I just can't ever seem to get them. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I got lucky last year only because of my, But
yeah, he can't bring me along. I don't work for WMAR, but maybe he could pull some strings. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see what I can do. Going into this year.
Okay. Really? Seriously? That'd be awesome.
It's going to be a stretch. It'll be a stretch. I don't want to put any hopes up, but
we'll talk to Zay too. Zay was on this show a couple months ago, so yeah, maybe I could tag along with both of them one day. I won't be in the camera. I'll just be off mingling on my own. That's all right.
We'll have to get you a temporary badge or something, but
all right. Well, I would love to. Point is, I'd love to be in the building for training camp. So we'll see. We will see if I can get the tickets. If not, we'll figure something out. But anyway, yeah, I don't have anything else. I think we've covered everything we wanted to talk about. So we'll go ahead and wind down. Is there anything we missed? Anything you want to cover, or any last thoughts?
Nah, man. I think we talked about everything we need to talk about. A lot of good things, not a lot of bad this past couple of weeks or so. So I'm happy to hear that, and I'm ready for everybody to get back to work, and let's get into the mandatory camp and see what these guys can do.
Good. And we're gonna try to bring you some live commentaries this year. I think Dom promised he'd be available for those.
Yes. Now, mind you, it will depend on. I feel like it'll have to be on and off, obviously, depending on how we come together.
Oh yeah, it's not going to be for every game.
But we're going to try to bring you some live comms, maybe in person. Who knows? And we'll try to get those things going for you guys. Here's some Dom and Gonz commentary. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we could do a practice trial run through for one of the preseason games. We'll see.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I will be moving up to the Baltimore area in a few weeks, so there shouldn't be any problems. Because I think both of us will be closer to each other now, so we can get it done. Get it done for you guys, because we've been trying to get commentary for a long time, and it'd be a lot of fun. To see our instant reaction to Ravens football plays, that would be kind of fun, because it's one thing sitting here and talk about it after the fact or before the fact, but actually in the moment, content.
Yeah, that's something.
Have an extra phone out so we can take some videos and upload them. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Yeah, well, it's fun. I'm excited for this season. Big moves coming for this channel. Seriously, we're going to do the live commentaries. These aren't jokes. We're going to actually make them happen this year, spice it up a little bit for you guys, and it'll be fun for us too. But anyway, yeah, this has been good to catch up a little bit as we approach mandatory camp. Starting tomorrow, once again, midway through June. We're almost to July. I mean, this is unbelievable. Preseason is less than 2 months away, folks. Less than 2 months away for our very first Ravens football game to watch. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for stopping by. So we'll go ahead and get on out of here. Okay. If you enjoyed our content, please leave a like and a subscription. Comment down below. Any questions you might have for us, or if you just want to say what's up, or you have a question about the Ravens or any other team. I know we cover the Ravens mainly, but we also like to dive into other stuff as well. So we'd be happy to talk about that as well. If you would like to, bring it up, feel free. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. You've been watching Dom Gonz Sports Talk. I'm Gonz. That's Dom. And we're going to get on out of here. Have a good evening. And enjoy the rest of your summer. Okay. We'll see you back in a little bit. Hopefully before the end of the summer. Yeah, it will be. We'll try to be more consistent. So maybe next week, after mandatory camp ends, we'll come back and talk about it. So we hope to see you then. Thanks again. This is Dom Gonz signing out. Have a good night, everybody.